Gormagat Lascian Corla, and today I move the Health Termination of Pregnancy Amendment Bill. This really is the unfinished business of the Great Repeal movement that in 2018 challenged and won a historic referendum to give women the right to choose what to do with their bodies and their reproductive health. And in moving this bill, I want to remember those whose cases propelled many people in this country into action and into campaigning and fighting for that right to choose. Savita Halappanabar, Miss X are just both in a litany of names and numbers that became synonymous with a cruel and a punishing Ireland for women. And this bill, like the repeal movement, insists that abortion is a health issue. This bill believes that the vast majority of people in this country, that someone who needs abortion care should never ever have to travel abroad for such care. And again, like the majority of people in this country, it aims to ensure that abortion is treated like other medical procedures and never a matter for criminal law. It aims to achieve full decriminalisation of abortion in line with the World Health Organization guidelines. And it will see the removal of the mandatory 3-day waiting period and the removal of the 12-week gestational limit. Abortion is a health issue for women, and the insertion of the 3-day waiting period is a way of saying to women, this decision of yours, this decision to do what you want with your own body, must be questioned. The health care you are seeking and assessing is somehow different to other aspects of your health, and we're going to place obstacles and hurdles in your way. That suggests that there's something wrong with that choice, and we totally reject that. And we reject the burden that it places on women. We know that in many places, accessing abortion care in this country, seeing a GP who will treat you is difficult, if not impossible, in many parts of this island. And the idea that when you get an appointment and you've travelled and taken time off work, etc., that you must go away, think about it, consider your choice and make your way back again for the treatment that you're entitled to. And this bill rejects that continuing heartbreak and trauma that we are putting women through for a fatal fetal anomaly. So 2 out of every women who need abortion care because of fatal fetal anomaly have to travel. There's a lot of research done by the National Women's Council, and I just want to, before I summarise, just quote some of it. That research showed that 2 weeks before the close of a public consultation, which, by the way, Taoiseach, we still haven't had the review published, and we're about to close the Dáil today. I think it's pretty shameful that the Minister for Health has not published the abortion review in time for this Dáil to consider it. It showed that 71% agreed that abortion should be treated like any other medical procedure and should never be a matter for criminal law. The research also showed that it was absolutely critical that the government should listen to the lived experience of those who are accessing abortion care and recognise the barriers that are put in front of them and take forward evidence that is based on recommendations from people. There's no evidence to support the 3-day waiting period, no medical evidence. It wasn't recommended by the Citizens' Assembly and it wasn't recommended by the Joint Committee on the 8th Amendment. It was inserted there by the Cabinet. Research also shows that the overwhelming majority of people believe that who have had to wait for the 3 days found it added stress and anxiety to their physical and mental health. And they describe the wait as ridiculous, patronising, unnecessary and demeaning. The last point to make is the question of fatal fetal anomaly. It is heartbreaking to see the hundreds of women that have had to travel to Britain since the law was introduced following repeal. It's absolutely heartbreaking, and in most cases it's because medical practitioners cannot say for certain that a fetus born with fatal fetal anomaly will not live beyond the 28 days. So this bill will extend that to a year from 28 days. The details are in the bill, but just to summarise, it will provide abortion on request for fatal fetal anomaly, abolish the 3-day waiting period, and it will provide abortion on grounds that are likely to lead to the death of the fetus either before or within a year. And it will allow for abortion where there is a risk to the life and health of the woman and decriminalise entirely the provision of abortion. So I want to recommend this to the House to move it, and I look forward to cross-party support because I think we'll find when the review is published, and again, just to say shame on the Minister for not doing so before today, we'll find that the evidence based on those who've experienced abortion care in this country is quite shocking compared to what Repeal the 8 stood for, what the people in this country heroically voted for, and what Savita and the other women I mentioned went through, and in whose name we passed the amendment, we passed the referendum to repeal the 8.